Hey everybody, this is Lydia here from Beat Your Anxiety and from buildyourselfinside.com. And for those of you who don't know me, or maybe you just joined my page, my name is Lydia Catherine now, and I set up this page for those of you who are struggling with anxiety, and anxiety tends to manifest in different forms. Often I see things like insomnia and emotional and stress eating, procrastination, fear of heights, phobias, um, sports and performance anxieties. And, I want to talk today about what actually healing anxiety looks like, because we kind of get the runaround from the market, we kind of get the runaround from society, and the amount of people that end up in my office confused, it's because of this reason, right? Is that we're taught to go down this path of prescription drugs and therapy, typically because it's covered by insurance, right? And it's just the path we're led on, right? If something doesn't feel right, we go see a doctor recommends a pill, or a doctor may recommend some therapy. And typically, because these things are more known, they're covered, right? More people are willing to go down this path because they are covered. Um, but what I like to tell my clients is, if you go down the path of insurance covered methods, you end up with insurance covered results, right? So, you decide you want to do therapy or prescription drugs. Those things are great too. I have nothing against therapy and prescription drugs. I had to go down this path of being on antidepressants and five different pills to manage my own anxiety. And therapy can certainly be useful for people who are sort of just discovering, this area of personal growth and the development, and really who are just looking for clarity about what's going on. So, by the time people end up in the office of a hypnotist, I find that they're typically, what I like to use is the word graduating from therapy, or maybe graduating from these two typical methods that typically don't give you long-term or lasting results. At least that's been my experience, and the experience of my clients coming in. At no point have I ever had a client come in and say, "Hey, I did prescription drugs, and now anxiety is not an issue." Right? So, there's definitely a time and a place for both these things, and these things are both part of the path. And if you feel like that's not enough for you, I personally found that, being on prescription drugs, antidepressants, SSRIs, were kind of inhibiting my character and my personality, and it just wasn't really giving me the results I was looking for. So, um, that's where people end up in the office of a hypnotist, or there's a lot of other different holistic methods to healing anxieties or traumas or whatever's contributing to what's going on in the moment. So, the first thing I want to talk about today is, where exactly does anxiety come from? Like, where is this thing? Where does it pop out of? Because oftentimes, the way clients talk about it is that anxiety kind of attacks you. Like, it feels like it's attacking me. Like, it's something that's just like, it's like a force that that's just attacking us, right? And this is certainly how it felt for me when I was having panic attacks. When I was driving, I would have panic attacks on airplanes, in closed spaces where I didn't feel like I could escape. This is certainly where I felt like this thing would happen to me, and I had no control over it. And as I've gone full circle now, and I've actually become a hypnotist and healed my own anxieties, uh, and I want to make a distinction here between healing anxiety and eliminating it. Our goal here is not to eliminate anxiety from our lives, because anxiety plays an important role in our survival, right? Uh, think about it this way: if you were out in the wilderness, and a tiger was coming at you, a bear was coming at you, it's not enough to just think to yourself, "Oh, this is dangerous. I should probably leave." Right? It's not enough to just have the thought. You need that fight or flight to kick in to kick on those instincts so that you flee the situation. You need that anxiety, that fight or flight to fire off so that you can get to safety. It's not enough to just have those thoughts. So the first thing I want you to take away from today is to thank that part of you for being there. Thank that part of you for being there to keep you alive, because without it, you would not be alive today. Without your anxiety, you would not be alive today, because it's the mechanism that's kept us out of walking into the middle of a highway. It's the mechanism that's kept us from sticking our finger in an electrical socket, right? Or doing things that would put us in a dangerous situation. And oftentimes I find clients are making themselves wrong for not just anxiety, but for all of their feelings. And that's where this internal battle starts to build, is when we are making ourselves wrong for sadness, for our anger, for our feelings of anxiety or fear. And until you can really make friends with that part of you, it really just feels like an uphill battle. And if that's something that you feel like you need help with, um, um, that's okay, Rebecca. This video will be on replay. This video will be sitting here if whenever you want to get back to it. Um, so thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are tuning in, um, and like I was saying, you want to start to make friends with that part of you that's firing off to try and protect you. That's the last thing you want to do, is say that you're not allowed to be here, because that part of you is trying to help you for survival. Now what's happening in cases of, like, a fear of fear of anxiety or panic when you're driving or when you're doing public speaking. This is something I commonly work with. Fear of going to networking events or parties, social anxieties, insomnia. No problem, Rebecca. I'm looking forward to bringing you more information here. And something I also want to point out is, even though all of these different things kind of come into my office, a lot of different fears and phobias. Not that all phobias are rooted in anxiety. Not all of them are. Some of them can be rooted in disgust, right? I've had people with a fear of rats or lizards and things like that, cats and dogs. And but I would say 90% of what comes into my office is rooted in anxiety. So stress and emotional eating, procrastination, like I said, sleeping issues, quitting smoking, things like that. So, even though these things manifest and show up differently in different parts of our lives, we can actually tackle this we can just tackle this from one angle. And there really is only one angle to really tackle anxiety. So, and there's a lot of different ways to get there. I don't want to disregard other ways of getting there. Changing your diet around, or doing acupuncture, yoga, Reiki, other methods of really, really just retraining the body to be calm in this situation. That's really all that's happening here. So, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I want to kind of keep this fundamental for today. So, going back to what I was talking about, often people feel like anxiety is attacking you, and it's actually not. It's actually not coming out of nowhere attacking you. This is something that you're manifesting from the inside. It's something you're creating intrinsically. And it may come in the form of a thought. It may come in the form of a mental picture or a movie. And typically it's something that you're hearing or something that you're seeing that is triggering this feeling. And you can call it anxiety or discomfort or shakiness or, fear. It often, none of these things are comfortable. And what we want to do in that moment is just pop a pill, right? Let me just pop a pill. I know for me personally, I would have to lie down on in like an empty office. I would get panic attacks at work. What seemed like randomly, it seems random, right? And I would lay down on the floor in an empty office, turn out the lights, and just listen to YouTube videos, YouTube meditations. And I'm sure a lot of you have gone down this path as well. And while they were helpful in guiding me to a place of calm, it would take hours. It would take hours to calm my body back down. It was like I would get triggered, and then this deterioration of this feeling would take forever to calm down. And it was really starting to interfere with my life. I was losing hours, I was losing energy, I was losing sleep, I was losing connections with people because anxiety was just crippling at this point. And so that's when I sought hypnotherapy, and I went to go see my first hypnotist. Come full circle now, about 7, 8 years later. Now I'm a practicing hypnotist. So what I want you to take away from this is that you are creating your own anxiety. This is coming from inside now. How? I don't know. I don't know yet, right? Like you might have to investigate that, how exactly it's coming up. What are you seeing? What are you hearing that just before this feeling starts up? And this could be something so subconscious you may not even know consciously what happened, because it just fires off like that. But that's okay, because it doesn't matter what the trigger is. It could be a person, it could be a group of people, right? With public speaking, it could be a thought of, oh no, everybody's eyes are going to be all on me, or people are going to treat me horrible or make fun of me at a party, or just I work with people who struggle just going to the grocery store and being calm, or going to the gym and feeling confident and feeling good about themselves. And so what I'm really curious about is what's happening just before that emotion sets off. And from there we can start to retrain and rewire the body, rewire the nervous system to do something different. And that's what really separates hypnosis from therapy. One of the most common questions I get is, what's the difference between therapy and hypnosis? Well, therapy, what I find in my personal experience with therapy was I got sort of clarity around what was going on. I started to understand that it was me creating this somehow. And I got some techniques, some breathing techniques, and maybe like an MP3 or something to take away. And but nothing was actually sticking. Like nothing was actually changing in the long run. I was just sort of continuing to kind of push the balloon underwater, so to speak, to push these feelings down so that they didn't come up. So for me, it was just not sticking. The results were not really changing, and I was continuing to fight this battle within myself. And that's really all it is. One surprise I like to bring to my clients is, hey, guess what? This is actually not a fear of public speaking or heights or flying. It's really just a battle between you and yourself. It's not a battle between you and the thing, you and food, you and other people, you and a group of people, you and people at a party, you and a cigarette. It's not a battle between you and something else at all. This comes down to a battle between you and yourself, and you can relinquish the attachment to the trigger. It's really that easy when you start to realize that this battle is completely from within, and these things, your body's just responding to situations around you. So uh that's the biggest difference, is that in hypnosis we can start to actually copy and paste what we want. Let's say maybe you would rather feel relaxed, you'd rather feel calm in your body, you'd rather feel lighter, a sense of coolness. This is going to be different for everybody. But what we can do is copy and paste that new feeling, the desired feeling, right where we want it. And now what we're going to start to see is compounding results, compounding effects of calmness or confidence or relaxation or groundedness, whatever it is that you wanted to feel instead. Because you've already snowballed anxiety for so long, now we get to snowball something different. And we can. That's the great thing about realizing that your anxiety is coming from you. You are creating it. It means that you can also now create something else for yourself to feel. And this is literally just a muscle that you get to build, so that this becomes such a quick thing you can just turn off. Like you have like an easy button, you can just turn it off, and it just takes some time. That's it. So if this is something, this actually before I drop off here, I want to. One of the other common questions I get is how many sessions does it take? Like, how long until I start seeing results? Well, my answer to that is you'll start seeing results as soon as you start making changes. As soon as you start and you show up and you're focused and this is a priority for you, you're going to start seeing results. Like, that cannot not happen, because now you're starting to make changes, you're going to start getting different results. So, like I mentioned, if hypnosis is something you've been thinking about trying, or maybe you're already doing this, uh, what we're looking for is what's different in between each session. And so, what I do is I typically have a package that I do with clients that come in my door, because again, it's really about that compounding effect. Like, 90 minutes is just not going to wrap everything up. It's just not. Although it can be helpful doing one session, it's really about making a cumulative amount of changes over time, so that really starts to snowball, kind of like if you were to do sessions with a personal trainer, right? I think a personal trainer is a great analogy, right? Because just one session with a personal trainer, you'll feel better, you'll get some insights. You may feel better throughout your day, you'll learn new things, but are you really going to be dropping weight after that one session? No, right? Your weight may be down the next day, but true permanent actual body fat loss is going to be from a cumulative effect of better decisions over time. And the same works for hypnosis. So, if you're one of these people who are, maybe you're running to YouTube or you're downloading MP3s and things like that, to try and calm down your anxiety in that moment, or maybe you're relying on antidepressants or prescription drugs. I get it. I was there. It's a very frustrating place to be, especially when what really heals anxiety in the end is not advertised. It's not advertised, because if it was, right, big pharma, wouldn't be making the money they are. The prescription drug company. So, it's to be honest, and I like to be upfront and transparent with people. I don't even use my insurance. To be honest, my health insurance, I go do the screenings I need to. I have right here. I have to go get a physical done on Thursday. And I use my insurance for things, for basically maintenance stuff. But as far as healing goes, if I'm having physical pain, even my chiropractor, I pay out of pocket for now, because my insurance does not cover what I need. And I get it, it's frustrating to have to pay out of pocket for this type of stuff, but the sooner you accept that, the sooner you start actually getting what you want. I refer a lot of my clients to a naturopath that I've also been working with, functional medicine doctors, because they're really focused on what's actually going to heal you. What are the proper, appropriate, natural things to put in your body to help heal things? And this is what I recommend to people who are coming in my door. So, everybody's path is going to look different, but the sooner you accept the fact that it can be costly to really heal your life, but it's so worth it, right? Like, there's nothing quite like not only healing yourself, but actually growing past where you were previously, so that you can have more, so that you can experience more, so you can achieve things you never even thought possible, because now you're a different person because of these brand new habits that you've been culminating over time. So, um, if this is something you want more help with, you can visit my website and book a free 30 minutes of my time at buildyourselfinside.com, all one word. Again, buildyourselfinside.com. And there you can find out, you can see other client success stories. And I have some videos there about what hypnosis is, how it can help you. And if you want to know more, you can go ahead and book a consultation on my website, and or post to this video below, comments, let me know what you all have tried. What has worked for you. Maybe there is some sort of meditation that's been helpful. Um, like I said, these things all can all be helpful, but what we're looking for is really permanent changes, permanent ways in which we respond to things. That's when you really start to see changes in your life, and it's nothing short of magical. So, for those of you who want to know more about me or more about hypnosis, again, you can visit my website at buildyourselfinside.com, and let me know what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to learn going forward. Post to this group if you have questions about things. That's why I set up this group, because my own personal clients were wanting more. And if you need any more resources, books, things like that, any questions that I can answer, post to this group.